Count 2 alleges that you committed the felony offense of murder in the first degree. It alleges that the defendant, Brian C. Koberger, on or about November 13, 2022, in Latah County, state of Idaho, did willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, with premeditation and with malice aforethought, kill and murder Madison Mogen, kill and murder Kaylee Gonsalves, kill and murder Xana Kernodle, kill and murder Ethan Chapin.
That was the Latah County judge reading the charges against 28-year-old Brian Koberger. He's the man accused of stabbing 4 University of Idaho students to death in a home just off campus back in November. Thank you for joining us on the news at 6. I'm Doug Petcash. Koberger is charged with 5 felonies, 4 counts of murder and 1 count of burglary. We're also learning more about how police were able to connect Koberger to the quadruple murder in Moscow. We have team coverage from today's events. Abby Davis is live in studio with a better look at the timeline of the murders. But first, my co-anchor Morgan Romero joins us live from Moscow outside the Latah County Courthouse, where Koberger made his first court appearance in Idaho this morning. And Morgan, we learned a lot today.
Yeah, we did, Doug. We learned a lot of information about why investigators believe that Brian Koberger is the one who committed these 4 heinous murders on University of Idaho students Kaylee Gonsalves, Ethan Chapin, Madison Mogen, and Xana Kernodle. That probable cause affidavit was unsealed, and that's because Koberger made his initial appearance in front of a magistrate judge in this courthouse today. Through that probable cause affidavit, we are learning information that we have never seen before. This is the most information that we have learned since these murders were committed back on November 13th, almost 2 months ago. That affidavit shows investigators matched Brian Koberger to the crime scene through DNA, cell phone records, and video surveillance of his car. Officers noticed a tan leather knife sheath on the bed next to Maddie Mogen. A sheath is a cover for the blade of a knife. They figured out it was a K-bar knife with Marine Corps insignia. Idaho State Lab found a single source of male DNA on the button of the sheath, which they called the suspect profile. They then compared that DNA to trash that they took from the Koberger family home in Pennsylvania back on December 27th, just a few days before his arrest. Koberger waived extradition and was flown from Pennsylvania, where he was arrested at his family home on December 30th. He was flown into the Pullman Moscow airport last night. This is video of his plane landing. Then we were there outside this building where I'm live at right now, where he was taken in a police motorcade into the Sally Port of the Latah County Jail. Today, again, was his first court appearance in front of a magistrate judge in Latah County. He could face the death penalty or life in prison if found guilty. At this time, he is presumed innocent until proven guilty. The state has to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he did this. He also was issued a no contact order for any contact with the victims' families. He was appointed a public defender, and the judge decided to set no bail. Take a listen.
At this point in time, pursuant to Idaho Criminal Rule 46B and Idaho Code 19-816 and 2903, I am going to leave the bail set in this case as no bail at this point in time until I have additional or further information at a later date and time.
Koberger's next court appearance will be a status conference on January 12th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. It's not going to be his preliminary hearing where we'll get more probable cause information, but it will be the hearing in which the judge sets that preliminary hearing. Also important to note, in that PCA today, we are expecting to learn a little bit more information about if there were any connections between Koberger and any of the 4 victims and what those connections were, but we did not learn any of that in the PCA. We hope to learn that as time progresses. I also want to point out, as we continue to cover the suspect in this case, let's not lose sight of the fact that 4 young, beautiful souls lost their lives just off campus of the University of Idaho almost 2 months ago. Doug.
Morgan Romero live in Moscow for us, covering this very big story. Morgan, thank you very much.